How we all doing? Welcome back. It's ASMR time. In the silly dimension, everything on YouTube is ASMR. Warzone ASMR. Oh, I'm shot him. Oh, he's dead now. Oh. Dub. Picked up. This makes me very uncomfortable. I don't know where I'm going with this anyway. You're in the silly dimension.
That was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, that was the worst one yet. But listen, I'm tired. I've not ate, so I'm quite delirious. And ladies and gentlemen, how are we? Welcome back to the silly dimension. This is the last one for a while anyway. That's going to have some sense of direction because we've got like a month to wait for Loki.
I think so. Yeah, just over.
So in that time, nothing will be structured. We're back for the last review of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I've just saw it at the corner of my eye. I got this delivered on Monday when I was out at the pub. I came back to the pub to get a jacket, and I saw this had been delivered. My monthly wrestle crate.
Okay.
And I did not record my unboxing yesterday or Monday, and I just thought it would not be funny to just unbox it on the podcast and just get your reaction to not knowing anything that's going on.
I would rather not, if we're honest.
Just like, look at that T-shirt. That's a T-shirt.
That's nice. Is that made of fabric?
Got a wrestle crate T-shirt on right now.
Fair enough.
Danhausen is a wrestler who describes himself as if a demon possessed the body of Conan O'Brien and began to wrestle.
Oh,
okay. And he's wonderful.
He's just not funny then.
Oh no, he is. He's like he's what Conan was before he just.
He's like Conan in like the 90s.
Yeah.
The 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Before he got his own show.
Pretty much, yeah.
Ah well. Oh, but aye. So
we're back with the final review.
Thoughts of it, the finale then.
From the finale of Institutional Racism: How We Treat Our Veterans and the Refugee Crisis.
Yeah.
Man, as I said to you, when you were watching it, really, really fucking brilliant start. Really, really brilliant end. The middle kind of lost me. The middle I was like checking my phone. I wasn't really caring about what was going on in the middle. Not that it wasn't good. I just think the plot kind of lost its way halfway through.
Yeah, definitely.
But overall, I think
the showrunner actually came out and said there was a plotline that was cut, but it wasn't anything to do with a pandemic. So,
I just want to know what the plotline that was cut was. I need to know.
It was just like a 6 hour. It was just 6 hours of Zemo in prison. Just him hanging out, just like learning things, extorting other prisoners, and
making toilet wine,
exactly.
Just things like that. Yeah,
a shank out of like toothbrush.
Fair, but no. I thought the finale was amazing, and what I will say is Sam's new Captain America outfit. Sorry, as you can tell, I woke up here ages ago, but I've not spoke yet today. I've just been
understandable.
So
I sing in the shower, so I always speak early in the morning.
It's fair. Yeah, no, I just got up and started watching Dynamic Banter. So like my brain's melted. Like, because I tweeted them last night because I fell behind in August of 2019, like when I moved over, and I was like, oh shit, I've not watched that in a month. Oh, that's a bit overwhelming. I'll get to it eventually, and then it became like 3 months, and then I'd watch maybe 2 episodes, and then it become another 3. And like now, I was like 50 episodes behind nearly. I've watched like 15 in the space of 4 days. Although realistically, it's like 15 in the space of like 3 because one of the days was pub all day.
Yeah, you were like the first man in the pub. You were literally in a paper because you were like the first man in the pub.
Yeah, I was.
So.
Yeah, I was. We were there.
Was it the National?
I don't know. I think maybe in like Glasgow Live or something.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah. So Monday, no Dynamic Banter because I was at the pub all day. But I think maybe Friday I restarted. Friday or Saturday, Sunday, and then yesterday, Tuesday, just blitzing it. Yeah. So my brain is beyond mush. But listen,
But
Paul,
we
but
do know.
what I was saying, the one
It
thing
was-
that's like that remains in my brain, the one thing that has not been liquefied within my now incredibly smooth brain, is just how good Sam's costume looks. I absolutely love it. I
It
think
looks
it's
fantastic, and I feel like one of the good things with it as well is like John's outfit. It didn't have any white on it, and like at all. And the whole thing with white in the American flag is that it's supposed to symbolise America's innocence and like compassion and shit like that. And so
I'll
John
need
not
to get
having it
replaced.
is perfect. But then Sam's is predominantly white, and it just I like that wee touch. It was very nice.
Yeah, and I think as well, I like how. I mean, there's not many. I mean, we've said there's not many like comic book outfits that translate well to the screen.
His has.
Yeah, his has incredible. Like, I mean, like the Scarlet Witch one, it does, but only because it had all this build up. If she'd have just come in with it, it wouldn't have looked good.
But because there was the whole.
I thought the build up through like WandaVision and stuff like that. Obviously, like Iron Man will always look good because that's just bam that up like fuck. But this is like one of the ones that I didn't think if they ever did it would look that good because I thought it would.
And now they've actually done it, and it's I don't know. It's just because we've had like at this point 13 years of superhero suits and stuff. So just nothing anymore like surprises us, and because it stands out a bit more, we're like, oh, that's cool. Whereas if they gave like Steve a suit like that in the first Avenger, I feel like a lot of us would be like, what the fuck is that? So
yeah, but I think I don't know because I like when like a suit in or like a costume in these movies is shit. I'm the first one to give it grief. I mean, like Bucky with his blue jacket with one arm. I liked the fact I had one arm, but it was like I just didn't like that. I didn't think
much of a suit, is it?
Yeah, no, like, but I just didn't think it looked great. And like Sam's one from before kind of just ranges from like what film he's in because like sometimes they make it like too realistic, and sometimes they make it like a bit too cartoony, and they've only maybe like once or twice like properly hit it with his old Falcon costume. But I absolutely love this.
And so in the choreography as well with like the fighting with the wings and the shield was spectacular.
Oh yeah, it was class.
Very well done.
So, do you know what I will say though? I'm very upset that we didn't get like a big prolonged fight with Bartrock.
Yeah.
Very sad.
They could have had it.
Because I think instead of just going through the plot, we'll just talk about the things that come up to our mind because this episode was kind of all over the place with plot and we're already a bit all over the place with...
It is to be honest, yeah, because like a lot of it's kind of strange because there's a whole bit in the middle where I don't like John's redemption in it. I feel like it was a bit rushed. Like, your man just decides, okay, let's stop being a cunt. Okay, good, but like, show us a bit more. Like,
I think like the thing is because obviously there's like 3 or 4 different plot lines all going at once in this episode, and some of them tie in, and then some of them just are there.
Yeah,
and it's the way that. Do you know what I think it is? I think they're trying to show us like stuff with Sam and Bartrock, with stuff with like Bucky, and then like what Sharon's doing as well, all at once. Whereas we don't need the stuff with Sharon there. That can come later instead of just like splitting it in and breaking up the momentum of like the fight with Bartrock or something like that. But yeah, he only fought. It's only maybe like 3 minutes, which is 7 minutes too short.
100%. Yeah,
Well, as you said, I'm excited to see going forward what they do because now they have this added. So obviously, it's always fun when Sam gets in a fight because he can just clothesline someone with a wing. But now with the added dimension of like having the shield as well, it'll be a lot of fun. And also, apparently, Captain America 4 is in the early stages of development. So
yeah, and apparently Anthony Mackie didn't know about that until a fan told him. So that's fun.
That's quite fun.
But that'll be a really good movie. How big a role do you think Bucky will play in it, if at all? Because considering so far every Captain America movie has been about Bucky essentially, so
yeah, it has, yeah. I don't know. I think I'd rather see I'd rather see Bucky get a send-off in a White Wolf TV show, personally. I think there's more scope for a better send-off for him within a TV show. Excuse me. Pardon me, I'm a gassed up man. I'm ready to go. No, I think... I don't know, because obviously... I think if he plays too much of a role in it, they'll be in for the criticism of, like, well, we've already had 6 hours of this to, like, watch these characters grow into something else to then just kind of put them back in the same roles. But also, I don't know. I wouldn't like it if he wasn't in it, but I don't think I'd like it if he was in it too much.
I think he could maybe be in it for like the first 15 minutes or something, and then he goes off, does his own thing. It kind of shows that they're like still working together, they're still buds and stuff. But then Sam goes off and does his own thing for the rest of the day. Whatever terrorist organisation he has to, or whatever. Yeah,
and hopefully now, because it's Sam and he's got a working brain, it won't be like a terrorist organisation. He's like, oh, those guys are just bringing medicine to people who need it. It'll be someone that's like, right, well, we're going to kill everyone and we're just going to do it for a laugh.
Basically, it's going to be, yeah, we just don't like people, so
yeah. And also, hopefully, it's not like a dumb terrorist organisation like the ones in fucking.
Imagine the next one. They just went from this one where it's all about like rehabilitation and stuff. People have just been thrown out on the streets. The next one's about like it's like environmental terrorists or something. They're like, no, save the planet. We must destroy corporations. Like, no one's going to be on America's side at that point.
Oh man, I don't know why I thought you were in my mind that was going somewhere more like very nuts. Just imagine saying like, imagine after this, Sam's like, listen, these people are doing they're doing a good thing, they're doing it the wrong way, but we need to stand by them. And then this next one, the US government fights Sam to crush the Palestinian rebels.
Oh no, God, no! I couldn't take that.
Cut it.
I have to imagine in those 5 years between like the blips, they sorted their shit out in Palestine and Israel. I have to believe it.
I like to think that during the blip, when it happened, Thanos got his calculations wrong and no Palestinians were gone, and they just fucking took it. They just took it. They took what's theirs.
But and then they were like 50% just hit Palestine perfectly, and they all survived. But Israel was just wiped out.
Yeah, exactly. Oh. Exactly. And then Palestine, they didn't take all of Israel. They just took what is theirs and went, you fucking stay back now. Fuck it, I swear to God. We know him, and they've got no reason to believe they don't know him. Like, we know him, and he'll fucking get him straight there. Do it again.
That's what they did. And then they're like, no, but Thanos is dead. The Avengers killed him. It's like, that's what they want you to think.
Okay, aye.
We're hiding him. He's in my back garden. Oh. Imagine having a supervillain in your back garden, just chilling. Like, he's tied to a post like an attack.
Like Nick Frost at the end of Shaun of the Dead.
he's just the gauntlet is just about he's reaching just like
out of all the supervillains then who are you putting in your back garden?
Well, my back garden is shared with like a lot of other people, so
right, your back garden at home, your ma's back garden.
Okay. Probably your man from, Loki. Fuck it. Just Avengers Loki. Because I'll just make fun of him. Because he's a little man-child at that point. So I'll just be like, fuck you, little baby boy. Little baby fucking man-child. Daddy doesn't love you, baby boy.
Just the most insecure man in the world.
Exactly.
Fair. So I'm trying to think. Because my back garden in Rathmullen Arms house, like the house is kind of like built on a hill, so the back garden there's like steps down it, so I could just like throw water balloons out the kitchen down onto somebody, and I'm trying to think who that would be really funny to do.
Oh, you should get Obadiah Stane from the first Iron Man, because if he falls back, he's just going to roll, because he's just a big fucking ball.
I was actually thinking him, but I don't know. You know who I'd like to hit with water balloons? I know he's not really. I mean, he's a bit of a dick. But he's also lovable. I think it'd be really funny to pelt him with water balloons. Justin Hammer, if he was just in my back garden.
Oh yeah.
Fucking hot that.
It'd get so like annoying. He'd be like, why are you doing this? Oh.
Yeah, he'd be like, this is a $50,000 shit. I'm like, is it? Bang, hot that.
So why haven't they brought him back yet? Sam Rockwell was incredible.
I know. I know one of my favourite scenes in the MCU is the ex-wife.
Oh, yeah,
It's
just
so good.
Off all these weapons.
Yeah, it's like it's so good. And from like quite a bit of a naff movie, it's like he's such a brilliant.
He saved that movie.
Oh, he really did. But back to Falcon. So after here's what I'll say. Do you like Sharon? Or what they did with Sharon in this episode? Because I fucking hated it.
I mean, I called this like 4 weeks ago, but no, I hate it. It's.
I'm all right.
I mean, I can understand where they're going, and it very well might end up having a good story. But this start was just quite shit. Like, they're in Madripoor, and we need. Oh, the power broker's out there. Turns out the power broker's who they're staying with. No, fuck off. That's bad storytelling.
But also, right, for me,
there was no hints to it apart from the last 2 episodes. It's just shit.
There wasn't even any hints to it. The only hint to it was when they spoiled that she was on the phone to Bartrock, which if I didn't have the subtitles on, I would never have guessed that that's who she was on the phone to. Even when he showed up in New York City, like I would never have guessed that. And then in this episode, they're like, it's like Carly when she's talking to her, she's like, "What's the power broker with no power?" And then it's like, "Oh, big music bit. You never saw that coming." Like, yeah, because you never hinted at once. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
And I mean, I did see it coming because you literally spoiled it last episode.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah.
It's just a bit of a cliche at this point. Like, the big bad that hasn't got a face yet. It turns out to be someone the main characters knew all along.
Yeah, and then there was that weird scene where like her and Carly then like they pull guns on each other, and then
that
Bartrock gets involved. Yeah, and then Bartrock gets involved.
Comes out of nowhere and just goes, "Oh wait, you're the power broker. How about I fucking blackmail you?"
Yeah, and then she just fucking kills Bartrock, who I'm upset about because. I mean, I'm not trying to say George St. Pierre's won an Oscar or anything. He's not. He's not an actor. He's a UFC fighter.
He's a decent actor.
But he's because he's got that air of believability around him. And
whenever he's doing this, it's because he's in a role that fits him perfectly. Like you chuck like John Cena or something into a movie, and you make him like this loving family man, and it isn't quite believable. But if you chuck him in a movie and you're like, "Oh, you're just beating people's heads up," then you're going to be like, yeah, okay, that makes complete sense. Don't give me that look. John Cena's not a good actor, okay? John Cena's not a good actor.
You take your slander of Ferdinand the Bull and you take it to someone that wants to listen to your shit. That man is a saint. Also, Loving Family Man and Blockers, brilliant movie. Absolutely incredible movie. I don't care what anyone says. John Cena trying to stop his daughter from having sex on prom night by throwing a stoner kid through a wall.
Yeah, okay. It is a good movie, actually.
Wonderful. And John Cena is the most wholesome.
Who's your pure fried man in that? I can never mind the actor's name, but I absolutely love him. No one.
Like Barnholtz.
Yes. Oh, I love him, man.
He's got one of my favourite moments in Brooklyn Nine-Nine history, because obviously he is Nikolaj's birth father.
Yes.
And so obviously he's from Latvia, and there's a Latvian player. No, there's a Latvian player in the NBA called Porzingis, and when he's playing basketball with Nikolaj at the park, he just blocks him and goes, "Porzingis!" And it's just a nice wee touch. It's a very nice touch.
I'll be excited to see where they go with Shannon, but at the same time, I can't imagine it's going to get more fun. Like,
yes, like.
Also, she was like Captain America's fucking girlfriend for like 10 minutes. How can she have turned into a villain? That makes no sense.
Yeah, like it also to me doesn't make a lot of sense that like, see, unless she was snapped, which she implied she wasn't, which she's pretty much said straight up she wasn't, because obviously, Steve had his whole enemy of the statehood revoked after the snap. When he came out of hiding and came back, and they were like, "Oh, okay." And obviously, she has then said that she wasn't snapped. So why didn't Steve then go, "Oh, I wonder if Sharon's still out there because you also made her an enemy of the state." Gone, undo that, please, because it doesn't seem like, because maybe not at first, maybe not right
It
at the
doesn't
start.
seem like in 5 years he'd just never think of Sharon at all.
Yeah, like it's weird. It really is weird. I'm not saying they can't save it. You know, I'm
No,
not saying that they can't save it, but right now I'm just not.
I'm not sold on it.
Yeah, I'm not overly hopeful of the direction that this is going to go in.
One thing they done in this episode though that was perfect, it hit every fucking mark it had to, was Isaiah. That ending with Isaiah was fucking heartbreaking, man.
Oh man, it was so good. It was so good. I absolutely love what they've done with Isaiah Bradley. Also,
I know he's never going to show up in another fucking piece of Marvel content, but still, he's probably my favorite character they brought into Falcon Winter Soldier. He was so good.
do you think we'll get an Isaiah prequel show?
I'd never even thought about that. Again, I don't see how they'd really do it because it's just going to be sad and bad. Because it's just going to be, oh, everybody you know died from the super serum. Okay, how about we put you in prison and then experiment on you for 30 years? That's how it's going to end, and it's going to be very bitter,
True.
very sad.
True, but I would like it.
It would show us like his characters. I think if they'd done it with him at the start, being like so hopeful, and the army,
that
them all, and they're all like, you guys are the hope of a nation at this point.
See, that's it. If they show us, if it doesn't start, if it starts before he takes it, and it shows us, I mean, even shows us this fight in that bar in Korea with Bucky in one of the episodes.
That would be good.
That would be class. And like I say, if it starts in a place where we see how hopeful he is, and then it ends with what we know happens to him, and we just see like the way it breaks him, I think it'd be really good. I would make me cry, like a little tiny man baby.
If it comes out, I think it will be quite. I don't think it'll be anytime soon.
No.
I think they'd probably want to sit on it a wee bit and make sure it's good because they know like if it comes out and it's shit, they're going to get so much hate and so much flack for it. So they need to make it good.
Yeah, I think if they do it, they'll need to go through, I don't know, probably like 4 or 5 drafts of working out every single plot point just before they even like consider beginning to cast. But I would love it. I think it'd be class. Oh yeah, it would ruin me.
Oh.
You know what I enjoyed from this episode as well? That we're sort of, not going through the plot bit by bit because it's sort of all over the place for ages.
It really is.
I was a big fan of Sam saving that truck on his own.
Yes, that was good.
Yeah,
very good. But it's like obviously he tries to save it, and that's like his whole redemption and stuff. And then he fails, and I actually laughed when he failed. I was like, "That's what you get." And Sam comes in and just fucking catches it like one-handed, and you're like, "Okay, he's Captain America. That's fair."
Yeah, and as well, you know what I loved about this episode is that obviously in the last episode we saw Bucky holding his own against John because he's also a super soldier, but Sam thoroughly getting his arse handed to him. And then I just liked how in this, the one thing that John couldn't do when he's trying to redeem himself, Sam did as a normal guy.
Which, yeah, it was a nice wee bit of symmetry there. It was very nice.
Yeah, I liked it. I did enjoy it. I don't really remember much of this episode outside of, like, it went the way you expected it to go. Do you know what I mean? But nothing, no big shocks, no big surprises.
We've got John is kind of cast now as like the first Dark Avenger, I suppose. With the whole US agent in the black suit and stuff.
Yeah, we finally got confirmation that he is now going by US agent, which I'm a fan of.
I wonder how he's going to play in, like, going forward. I think he'll probably be in the in Captain America 4.
Yeah, so I'm not overly familiar with the Dark Avengers. I know bits.
Well, they've not really started it properly or anything, because usually they start with, like, Norman Osborn taking over, like, the Iron Man mantle. But that's the story I'm from it anyway. And then he, like, builds this kind of group of pseudo villains and gives them hero mantles. Like, I can't remember if Superior Spider-Man, who's Doc Ock, was part of them at one point, or if he was doing his own shit. I can't remember. But I would have loved that. It would have been amazing. It would have been like my second favourite fucking storyline for them to do after Secret Invasion. And they're still doing Secret Invasion, but I have no idea how they're going to do Secret Invasion because the Skrulls are the good guys now. Unless it's like a reverse Secret Invasion where Hydra's still a bit or something, somehow, no idea how, and the Skrulls are having to come in to try and wheel in out, which would be a nice flip on the story. But
yeah, right. I've got a way for how we can round this out.
Okay.
We'll keep talking about the episode, but then we'll do an absolute favourite of this series, and we'll fantasy cast some Dark Avengers.
Okay.
We'll use that to round it out.
So, do you mean like?
I have got a list of people who have been in the Dark Avengers. But before we'll just finish up the review. I suppose we've only really got the ending to talk about.
One thing I actually really loved, it was a wee small detail, but this episode wasn't titled Falcon and the Winter Soldier. It was Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
I missed that. I missed that.
Yeah, the title came up and it was Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I loved that.
Also, one thing I really enjoyed as well is, pardon me, it's when Sam is going after the helicopter of the GRC people.
Yeah.
And he's like, can anyone in there fly it? So Red Wing things it, and then like she gets a text.
I like how, a lot more than Steve anyway, Sam's been shown to use his head a lot more. Because obviously Steve, super soldier man, Sam's just a dude. So he has to like, make these situations through.
Yeah, Sam is just like, that's what I really like about this, is obviously like, Steve is very smart, but like a lot of like Steve's, like the ways that he goes into things is he's like, well, I can brute force this door open, or I can sneak round and get the jump on them and then brute force them all to death.
Yeah.
Whereas like Sam's having to use his wit a lot more. And the scene with the helicopter, it was amazing. Absolutely loved it. And then obviously we get the end when Sam is live on TV, just running down, just absolutely running through those two GRC senators with everything he could, just tearing them limb from limb, which I absolutely loved. And it was the bit when he...
more like that. I know they get loads of flack, especially with this show about it being quote unquote overly political. It wasn't overly political.
No, it wasn't.
There was no point in it. There was no point in it that didn't make complete fucking sense.
But that's the thing as well, right? Is it's not to jump on my left wing communist high horse, but the people who like complain about shit like this being overly political are the people who are like, oh yeah, man, refugees should die in a river. Like,
they're the people who say N-word casually, yeah.
Yeah, it's like the people who...
No one cares what your opinion.
That's the thing, like, I mean, I always say it, and I kind of say it for a laugh, but not really. It's like, I always know in my heart of hearts, whenever a right-wing person starts an argument with me on Twitter, I've won because I'm right. Because, let's be honest, a black man shouldn't die just for driving his car, or a refugee shouldn't be drowning in the English Channel.
Get shot going or run in the street.
Yeah, exactly. And all the people who are complaining about shit like this are the people who think like that. So it's not overly political because...
The people who would be doing it.
But like that's the thing, in the world right now...
It's just it doesn't align with your policy. That's the thing.
In the world right now, there is a massive refugee crisis. There is a very real discussion to be had around how governments and countries treat their returning veterans. And there also a massive thing... Maybe not so much for America, but I think Isaiah Bradley's story lines up, to me, quite well with like Britain's attitude about the colonies and about the empire, being like, didn't happen. I know America like do sweep some shit under the rug, but not to that extent. And I've seen, there's real discussions to be had around all the issues that the show brought up. And
when it comes to just like, there's no one that takes the cake like Britain. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that thing. Have you seen that video? It's like Kneecap, the rap group for Belfast. Like Three Catholic Boys.
Yeah,
they're the ones that sing Get Your Brits Out. Massive tune. But they like do a thing, they're like, why do you think English people and like, why do these go after the English so much? And he's like, because they can't admit they've done nothing wrong. Like, Germany's like, listen, the Nazis were us. We're sorry about that. We'll try not to do it again. And then the Brits are like, slavery?
We didn't do that.
No chance.
Destroy countless countries' economy and simply for a hot beverage? No, that doesn't sound like us.
I saw someone on Twitter a few days ago defending the colonisation of India because India wouldn't have trains at the British Empire. I'm sure they would have got trains eventually. I'm sure trains would have made their way to India.
I don't think decades of oppression makes up for trains.
For trains.
That's not quite.
Yeah,
I know some people really like trains, but come on, dude.
Yeah, like it was like, oh, it's okay because they got trains. What? Like, see if I come round to your house, right, and I steal everything that's there, but I leave you like a nice new pair of trainers. You're not going to be like, oh, fuck, I got some sick vans. You're going to be like, where's everything in my house?
Where is all my possessions? Yes, it's not the same.
Yeah. But yeah, like I say, about the show being overly political, it's not, because all of the issues that they covered have like a place in the real world. They all exist within the real world, and they all happen, and you can't say they don't happen. And I think it's very important for, as well as people that are like, oh, I want to watch a comic book show and turn my brain off. You ever read a comic book? Because they do the exact same thing.
Have you heard about what the X-Men were fucking created for?
Yeah, like have you actually ever read a comic?
They're
just one?
Essentially political.
Because I saw this guy's a wrestler.
Honestly, probably the only comics I've read that aren't political are the fucking weird ones, like Doctor Strange. Because how do you make fucking dimensional villains political? There's no way to do that, and that's the only fucking ones that aren't.
Yeah, like there's this guy used to follow on Twitter. He was a wrestler, then he retired from wrestling. He became he was just the most insufferable man in the world. He really is. And he tweeted like halfway through WandaVision. He was like, "Please stop trying to attach meanings to episodes of WandaVision. It's not that deep. Every comic is that deep."
They always deal with hard fucking issues.
Yeah. So the people who are like being butthurt about that, like, just say you're a virgin and say you vote for the Scottish Family Party and move on. Like,
oh god, I saw you saw their thing this morning. That's unreal.
About your man whose bio is conservative as the new punk. No, it's not.
Yeah. Basically, for any viewers we have outside of Scotland, there's a new political party that's come up in the wake of the elections coming in the next few weeks, and they're basically just going, how about we just stop teaching kids safe sex, we stop abortions, we kill all trans people, we do everything to go back to quote unquote the good old days.
Yeah, but they're also like we promote free thinking, but think exactly how we fucking tell you to think, because we're the free thinkers.
And they're like, we don't want indoctrination. They're like, stop this indoctrination in schools and teaching kids about fucking confusing trans ideologies. It's like, what's confusing? Someone was born a guy, wants to be a woman. That's very confusing, my guy.
Yeah, it's man. Because as well, like I've got I know someone friend of mine, won't name names, but like he, like, being around a trans person just he makes, I don't know, he says like it's my battle, I've got to deal with it. It makes me a little bit uncomfortable, but I'm never going to sit there and invalidate that person. It's just something I've got to get over in my mind. Like
that's the right way to handle things like that.
Yeah, like,
because obviously stuff like that, it is learned and stuff, but also you can't control a lot of that, obviously. So if you recognize these issues and recognize that they are issues, then you're doing the right thing. You're on the right path.
Yeah, like, and that's. We went off topic there, but fuck the Scottish Family Party, and fuck your man Philip Tans, who thinks that being conservative is punk, because it's not.
He looks like if CM Punk was like dropped out of a fucking Chinook at 37,000 feet.
Did you see did you see the thing about him?
CM Punk?
No, that guy who said being conservative is the new.
Right.
Did you see the thing about him? Yeah, man, what a weird guy.
Maybe.
Oh, do you not? There was like a thing on like Russia, Russia Today. Like
I don't know. I can't.
He was an ex-gay adult film star, and then he started dating women, and now he's no longer gay.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
And now he's a Tory.
I did see that. That's mad.
Yeah, man. Anyway, totally off topic there. Back to just our final thoughts on the Falcon and the Winter Soldier is, if you think it's too political, you're a fucking loser.
Basically, if you didn't enjoy them talking about the refugee crisis. If you didn't, well, not enjoy.
If you didn't appreciate, like, yeah,
them going into these topics, which, to be honest, for Disney, a multi-billion-dollar I mean, obviously they're a multi-billion-dollar corporation. They're feeding into shit like this actually happen. But still, them actually going ahead and addressing it and getting that information out to us is commendable. But still, fuck Disney.
Yeah. Fuck corporations, but please let us keep having shows like this. We fuck with this, we don't fuck with you.
Exactly.
It's like when
Exactly. It's like
who is it? There's oh my god.
It's like Elvis. I don't fuck with Elvis marrying a 14-year-old, but I do fuck with a little less conversation.
Yeah. Oh man. Elvis and his pinky dancing as well. What a mad guy. Are you familiar with the pinky dance?
I am.
Hero. I mean, not familiar with that. I mean, that when that a specific moment. But riding a 14-year-old, nuts. Anyway, on to the closing portion of the show, the fantasy casting.
Well, first, what was your favourite moment of the full show?
I loved at the start of the last episode when Sam just like fuck. Although what I will say though, obviously we see Sam flying towards the GRC building to help out and to put an end to the bad boys. But you see this, you don't properly see the suit, but you can see it as he's going in. And I would have liked if you just like see him like flash past. You don't really get a proper glimpse of it, and then he breaks through the window. But when he crashes through the window, and you see the suit properly, I loved that. Walker fucking beheading your man with a shield was amazing.
That was hard to watch.
Yeah, it was really good. I also just loved the bit in episode 2 where they go to therapy with like Bucky's therapist, and like she gets him to do like the soul staring exercise, which is meant to make you cry. If you look into someone that you know really well's eyes for like 5 minutes, you both start crying and you can't explain why, but they just start on a fucking staring contest. Brilliant. Also, one thing I forgot to mention from this episode, at the end, Bucky goes to the old guy from episode 1 and tells him that he actually killed his son, so he can have some closure on it. And he finally crosses out everyone on his list and leaves his journal back in his therapist's office with everyone crossed off. Which I like. And then also just everything with Zemo as well.
Yeah,
great.
My two moments are Zemo's prison break and then him just like showing up, or Bucky and Wakanda getting like the scene where I was reading the
yeah.
Very well done.
Fair. So there's a bunch of names here, members of the Dark Avengers and members of Dark New Avengers.
Ooh.
So we'll start. This is one that I've already.
Who would you cast as Norman Osborn then? Because he's kind of like the big one.
Well, this is one that I've already done, and I have two I have two castings for Norman Osborn, and they're both linked with two Harry Osborns.
Okay.
So, we went over this. This is my more out there one because for this, Harry has to be older than Peter, and I said maybe the dynamic is Peter starts working at Oscorp and Harry's his boss, and they become friends that way. So Norman Osborn, Andre Braugher, and Harry Osborn, John David Washington.
Okay, I really like that. Yeah.
And for now I need to think of like a young actor because I had another Norman, but now he's slipped. So who would you be going for Norman? Well, I think of another one, so I'll try and remember.
I'd love Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
I'd love Bryan Cranston as Harry Osborn. Or Norman, sorry. He's got the whole seriousness today, but he can also have a joke, which he needs to, because he needs to be able to play that, I'm a good guy, but I'm a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
And he has that, like, after watching, obviously seeing him in, like, Malcolm in the Middle and then Breaking Bad, you can see he is an incredible actor in both those type of roles.
Yeah. That's fair.
He's a bit older, I suppose, but pictures.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm trying to think. I can see his face, and that's really annoying. I can't even remember what he's been in. I can like see his face. This sounds dumb as fuck. I can see him on the Graham Norton couch. I can't even see him in something.
Michael Fassbender?
That'd be good, actually. Fuck it. Let's just pretend that was who it was.
I don't know why, but whenever somebody says Graham Norton, I immediately think to when James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender were on it for one of the X-Men movies. I don't know why.
Fair. Whenever I think
or
of
when
Graham
Hugh
Norton,
McGregor and Chris O'Dowd start playing with lightsabers, that was a good one.
fair. Whenever I think about it, I just think I can't remember if they got someone on the chair, and it was I think it was like Hugh Jackman. I'm just saying Hugh Jackman because the guy who told the story was Australian, and it was an Australian actor. So maybe it was Russell Crowe. Maybe it was Hugh Jackman. I don't know. They're the only
Russell Crowe would be a good Norman Osborn.
Actually, yeah. But so you've got your man on the chair. Then if the story's not good enough, he tips him it. So someone like.
You seen the one where it's Charlie Hunnam, and it's a guy that Charlie Hunnam stole the guy's bird when they went to high school together.
Similar story.
It's so good, man.
Because this time the guy was also was chatting to this girl at high school, and then a guy asked her to the prom, and I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. Whatever, I'll just go to the prom with my mates. That'll be fun. Then we're all at the prom. We had a couple of drinks, and then I ended up kissing the girl, and the guy got really mad, and that was Hugh Jackman, and he's on the couch. And then he just say the guy's name was like John Smith. Hugh Jackman just goes, John Smith, you motherfucker, and he runs over and tips him at the chair.
That's good.
So I enjoyed that.
I'd love to see Hugh Jackman in the MCU, man.
Yeah.
Obviously not as Wolverine, but
Yeah.
I'd love to see him in because he's such a good actor, and he obviously still has the physicality no matter his age. So, but
Yeah.
don't make him like fucking starve himself for 3 days to get a topless photo again. I hate that fad they're doing.
Yeah, it's the worst.
The guys in Hollywood right now, they make them like dehydrate themselves for weeks. It's like fuck off. It's not healthy.
Yeah. I mean, Hugh Jackman would also be good as Norman Osborn just because he's nuts.
True.
I
wish Mads Mikkelsen hadn't been cast as Caecilius because I'd love Mads Mikkelsen to be a proper good like multi-movie villain because he's such a good fuck.
Here's the thing: I had a thought for someone who would be the absolute perfect Norman Osborn, but he's already been in. But it's Edward Norton, but he's been retconned from existence within the MCU.
Yeah, bring him back, 100%.
Bring it that.
Yeah.
So I think
Harry Osborn, Finn Wolfhard, Edward Norton, Norman.
Anytime we need a young actor, we just default to the Stranger Things kids.
I was talking about this because they've just announced that they're doing a casting for Percy Jackson's show. They're doing an open call for Percy. And I was sitting there talking about Pals last night. I was like, let's just cast the Stranger Things kids.
Man, they're all so good. And you know me, I will never stop screaming from the rooftops until Caleb McLaughlin is cast as Miles Morales that he should be Miles Morales, and I don't care.
Yeah, they want to. This makes me sad, actually. Apparently, after Spider-Man 3, they want to keep Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the MCU for a while. I don't know in what capacity, but that makes me think they're holding off on bringing Miles in if there are going to be 3 Spider-Men. I think if they keep them in, I don't think they will be Spider-Man. You think it'll be like they're kind of just cutting a bit?
Yeah, I think they might be there to offer. Well, because Tobey Maguire, he's now 40?
Yeah, he's had his time, I suppose.
Yeah, so maybe they can do a thing of, or maybe when they're brought through, I don't know. Oh, big brain time.
Have you had a big brain moment?
I had the world's biggest brain. You know that scene in Megamind where he's putting on his big fat golf boots? That's me, but I'm putting on my Converse. Biggest brain of all time.
Yeah, go on, tell me.
So Peter, he's now a 40-year-old science man, giving up the Spider-Man because he's put everyone in jail. Everyone's in the raft, and he's he's working at Oscorp, and he's like, right, what is the crack with this?
Even make Tobey Maguire's one, not even like Oscorp or that. They can make him have Parker Industries, and obviously Parker Industries is a bit of a shit story in the comics, but that gives them a kind of, he is your big man.
Right.
There's a photographer in that one, isn't he?
Well, we can just say one of them is working at Oscorp or something, looking and studying the spider that bit them, right?
Okay.
And they're studying they're in the spider lab, and then in Into the Spider-Verse, the portal opens up.
The spider lab. Every Spider-Man movie, there's a fucking spider lab. It makes no sense. Whose lab has that many spiders? Surely the spiders are kept in a separate room, and then you bring the ones you're experimenting on into the lab. You don't just keep them all there. The only
time I think it kind of makes sense is in it doesn't even make sense, but it's in Into the Spider-Verse because that one crawled through from another dimension. So then we've got the logistic nightmare of the spider lab existing in another dimension.
and somewhere else, yeah.
But so I think
I never want to be a Spider-Man in my life. I'll cry.
But yeah, I think probably Tobey because he's like the oldest. He can be like, I've left my Spider-Man and days behind. Oh, look at this spider. Is this the one that bit me? What happened? Why can I now hang off walls? And then, like in Spider-Verse, this portal just opens up and it's like, and you come. We need to save the day. And the spider comes through with him, bites Caleb McLaughlin.
Boom, sorted.
Big brain moment. We've got it done.
Like literally all we need as well is a scene, even just like an after credit scene or something. The spider gets away, and then after credit scene, fucking Donald Glover and Caleb
McLaughlin are just hanging out in a car.
Past like a bodega or something, and then Caleb McLaughlin just goes, "Ow!" That's it. That's all you need. That's genuinely it.
And then that's the thing. We don't even need them in the next Spider-Man film because if you want to do the whole buddy cop thing with Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland, you can do that. But we know in the back of our mind that Caleb McLaughlin is like, because we don't need to see his backstory either because we know he gets bit by a spider.
I'd like it to be like that. Maybe after this Spider-Man one, you show Caleb McLaughlin get bit, and then in the next Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man's going around like he's like, oh, this building's on fire, and then he gets there, everybody's already saved. He's like, what's going on
at the end?
And it's like, and then Caleb McLaughlin is like beating him to the scene every time, and he's like, what the fuck is going on here?
And then he goes around the corner. He goes around the corner, and it's like just a kid in like some basketball trainers, joggies, a zip-up hoodie, and like a $2 Spider-Man mask.
Aye, like, oh, it would be so good.
I would love it.
And then, yeah, give him a good. I don't know if they maybe want to wait until Tom Holland Spider-Man's a bit older before they bring him in as like a kind of mentor. I can understand if they want to wait like a few more years.
Oh, big brain o'clock. One more time.
Okay.
The brain keeps expanding.
Okay.
If they want to keep Tobey and Andrew Garfield around for a while, maybe have like a Disney Plus show where we can get Miles up to speed being taught by these two Peters while Tom Holland's out doing his thing. And then
that would be good.
we just have the biggest brains. We really do.
We really do. I mean, big enough foreheads, so there needs to be some big brain behind that.
Let's see who else is here. We've got Bullseye. He was a member of the Dark Avengers.
I really like the Daredevil season 3 cast of Bullseye. He was so good.
Oh, I've not seen Daredevil season 3, so
best season, honestly, best season.
Fair.
And then they've just kind of shagged that away. But Charlie Cox might be in Spider-Man 3. There's like a chance he's going to be in it.
Yeah, he's like, yeah. I mean, I would like him to come back.
They put a casting out for a courtroom scene, and obviously, if they were going to bring in your man, it would be as Matt Murdock, the lawyer. So
yeah, I think. I mean, surely they bring him back, even if he doesn't do some Daredevil, in which he definitely should. Just to
like acknowledge that.
Just for the confirmation that those shows exist, and then that opens us up for the possibility of maybe not massive crossovers, but definitely some more things. And I would like a Daredevil movie with your man, because I love him. I'm looking at the rest of these people, and I actually don't know many of them. Venom is already cast.
A lot of them are kind of more obscure ones. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know that. Oh no, Venom's not cast. It's the Scorpion who's cast. Well, it says here Venom, Matt Gargan. So Matt Gargan exists.
Yeah, that's Scorpion. Oh well.
Yeah. Fuck it. That plan.
I don't know if we can actually happen. I don't know the characters.
That plan
kind of fell on its arse.
That plan fell on its arse. So fuck it. Well, we just stay here and we'll think of a big finish to the show. We've got to think of a big finish to the show. We've got to be big brain. We've went off topic from Captain America to Spider-Man, so let's bring it back.
What do you want to happen in Loki?
No, we've got to keep it Captain America going. We've got to keep Captain America based.
Oh, okay.
Right, fuck it. Let's go Captain America. Let's go Sam Wilson, Captain America, villains. And then we'll round off on a fantasy cast.
Okay. Works for me.
Let's see who.
I wonder if they'll ever bring MODOK in the MCU. He's a very strange villain.
Yeah. Right, this Marvel.com's profile of Sam Wilson gives him intelligence 2. You stop that now. You absolutely stop that. Let's see. It's not giving me his villains. Fuck it. Who's here? He tangles with Red Skull, Sin, Arnim Zola, Dr. Faustus, Baron Zemo, and Baron Blood.
You know who would be good? Imagine that they bring back Michael Keaton's Vulture, but instead of a Spider-Man villain, he's going up against...
Oh, yeah, I would like that.
I mean, that goal plays back into the whole trope that Marvel have done for so long, where it's just hero and villain with exactly the same powers. But
yeah, this would be fun. This would be a lot of fun.
It's Michael Keaton, so it's going to be good anyway.
Yeah, I'd love that. I was thinking of something there. Now I can't remember. Oh, yeah. Obviously, you know, this looks like obviously Dark Avengers, Sinister Six, and all these things are probably going to end up happening at some point. After it's gone, I had a good cast there for someone. This one's gone off the rails. This episode has gone.
Really has.
This episode has gone off the rails severely.
I feel like we should like end it before we end up saying something that's going to get us cancelled.
Yeah, we should.
That's where we're going to go.
Probably round this one out because this has just been absolute big brain fart. So fuck it. See, instead of doing a Loki preview episode, let's just round off on some general Loki chat to get us excited. Although I will say,
I'm very hyped. Owen Wilson actually showing off some acting chops as well.
I will say this though, that this episode being just total brain fart, continuous stream of thought. This is a nice forebear, a nice preview of what you'll be getting between now and Loki.
Oh yeah, they're all going to be like this, which isn't fun.
Oh, listen.
Well, we'll do one that's a DC fan cast because we sort of do that. We'll do one that's hopefully about Invincible if you ever fucking watch it. Last episode comes out on Friday.
Yes. So now, big brain time. Expanding even further. I'll just watch it all in one sitting and we can talk about the whole season.
Works for me. Yeah, so that'll be fun. I guess that'll probably be the next one we do then if that comes out on Friday. Yeah. So enjoy that when it comes out, guys.
So I don't know much. So you have read have you read all the comics that Loki's based off of, or just a few of them?
Oh, I own one. So no.
Okay. So what goes down in that particular comic?
I can pull it out now. Actually, it's a very nice cover.
Yeah, it
is. Your man basically is at the start of this. I think he's in a casino, and he's just kind of like fanning about doing his own shit, and then he gets kicked out of the casino by who is it? Oh, there he is. He gets kicked out of the casino by Rhino, and that's not Rhino. Sorry, that wasn't Rhino. I don't know. It's been a while since I've read it. I'm not reading it on fucking podcast. But yeah, basically, it's just vibes at the start. He's just kind of cutting about. But I'm very excited to see them go into like historical events and just show Loki being an absolute menace to society. It's going to be very fun.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Have they revealed any of the historical settings yet, or are we just left guessing?
I don't know. I haven't watched the trailer because I want to go into the mind because it's the one I'm most excited about. So nothing I really noticed. But obviously, he's got like a big vote Loki thing, so I don't know if one of them is going to be like an election or something. But I guess we'll just need to wait and see.
Yeah. I guess then to round it out, if you know, because these Disney Plus shows, I mean, we've only got 2 so far. But they've
announced a lot as well.
Yeah. Out of all the ones that haven't been announced, what character or story or something would you like to see brought to Disney Plus? Because I'm enjoying the TV show format because it gives you more time to explore all the.
It lets us actually it's a lot more character driven than the movies and stuff, which is serious.
So, I'm just looking at all the ones.
Who was one? I'd love probably a Nova one. I feel like a Nova TV show would be really good.
Yes.
It'd be good to show like the kind of you'd be able to show him actually like grow into it rather than just you have shit tons of superpowers now. Go save someone. He's like okay.
Yeah.
But like it's like a kind of Shazam type thing where he's just kind of fanning about with these powers. It'd be good. I like it.
I've got one, and it's based solely off of my ideal casting for the man, and it's a bad guy show.
Oh.
I would like.
Is that a Sandman one?
It is a Sandman one that then leads into a Spider-Man film.
That would be good, to be honest. Like 4 episodes just showing us like this man.
Because that's the thing as well. I think as well with this, you don't need to, especially the characters that we've seen a bunch, you don't need to show us their backstory over and over and over again. But excuse me.
Nice goodness,
Then another one.
Ooh. One's a wish, two's a kiss.
Puck it up, sunshine. But I think if you give us like a Sandman show would be good, or I don't know. I think villain shows.
A Black Cat one would be good. A Black Cat show would be good. Actually,
a Black Cat show would be amazing.
Who would you cast as Black Cat? Did we talk about this before?
I think we did talk about this before, and I couldn't think of one.
Olivia Cook would be good. I've seen her in a lot more stuff, and she's actually a really good actress.
Yeah.
And she looks about 18, like eternally. She's like near enough 30, and she still looks 18. So that works with the whole age thing.
Who else would I like to see in a TV show? I do think a Sandman one would be great.
It would.
And then we can, can just see like the progression to the point he then ends up a Spider-Man level threat.
It just needs to be like a desperate man.
Yeah, and as long as they never portray him, as bad for the sake of being bad.
Yeah.
And I think the one big reason I think CM Punk should be Sandman is, have you ever seen the time he was cutting a promo against The Rock when they wrestled for the WWE title in like 2013?
Nah, I don't think so.
So he comes out, and obviously The Rock's like one of the greatest talkers in wrestling history, and CM Punk just comes out, he doesn't let him get a word in, and he keeps going and going, and there's just this one bit where he's like looking him right in the eyes, and he's like, come Sunday, just know I'm going to beat your ass, and just know that no amount of catchphrases will make your arms long enough to box with God.
Fucking hell. That's a good line, Chris.
It's so good.
Give that man a show.
I think off of that alone, just get him in, make him Sandman. Although, somehow get Drax in there so he can work with just get Drax in for no reason. Oh, a Drax TV show would be great.
A Drax TV show, like before the Guardians, showing him how he ended up in prison or something. That would be good.
And as well, a Rocket and Groot spin-off.
Oh, 100%. I've been not getting like a Groot show, but it's like a kid show or something.
Probably. Oh, have you ever seen Bradley Cooper in the booth recording Rocket?
Yes, yeah.
He hunches down and he's like proper. He
like pretends to be Rocket.
He makes himself as small as he can be, but still within range of the mic. It's class.
It's so weird when you hear like, oh, it's Bradley Cooper, and then you hear Rocket's voice, and you're like, is it?
And then
he's a surprisingly good voice actor.
Because that's the thing. When I found out it was Bradley Cooper after seeing it when it came out, I was like, that's not Bradley Cooper, because it doesn't sound anything like him. And like, there's such a degree of separation from his voice to like Rocket, but then you watch like the behind the scenes, and then you hear him like talk just after it, and you can just hear his voice is like fucked up from it.
Yeah,
it's like Mark Hamill to Joker.
Yes, it's exactly what it's like actually.
It's like seeing him do it, you're like, oh, I know that is him, but then when you hear it, you're like,
you hear it without the visual, you're just like, that's not that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, get Mark Hamill in the MCU. I don't know as who. Just get him in as someone.
Yeah. Get him in as I don't know actually.
I really don't know. I was gonna say Uncle Ben, but like Marissa Tomei is like 40.
No. I don't know if they want to cast a like 60-year-old Mark Hamill.
Just to have him there. Just to have him about. It would be nice.
Oh, right. I'm saying I don't know if they'd want to cast like a 60-year-old Mark Hamill as Doctor Doom, but I'd love that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, I suppose we should probably round this out before our brains fully liquefy. If you've got this far, what is wrong with you? But well done. God bless you.
Well, you deserve a drink. The pubs are open. Go get a pint. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly. You earned it after this. We'll be back next week, maybe with our DC fancast, maybe with our Invincible review, or maybe with just a total soft brain moment. But we have some fun segments planned, so that'll get us through it. Anyway,
so thank you for listening / watching. we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. And I'm not going to do a silly outro because the one I did going in was naff. Anyway, we'll end with a proper horn honk. How about that? To see us off.
Do it.